Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the City of Miramar's continuation of the celebration of our Black History Month in our fabulous city. I'd like to thank you all, kids and parents, for being here and hope you're excited to hear the stories I've selected for our virtual story time. I'm really excited to be with everyone this evening. Our first book is called Who Are Your People? And it's written by Bakari Sellers. Bakari made history in 2006 when, at just the age of 22 years old, he defeated a 26-year incumbent and was elected to the South Carolina State Legislature as the youngest member of the South Carolina State Legislature and the youngest African American elected officially in all of these United States. So there's some Black history right there. He has been named to Time's 40 Under 40 list and the Roots 100 Most Influential African Americans list. Bakari has also written the New York Times bestseller, My Vanishing Country. He practices law and is a political commentator at CNN. You can visit Bakari online at www.stromlaw.com/Bakari Sellers. Welcome, Mr. Sellers. How are you?
Oh man, I was just saying it offline, and let me say it to everyone who's joining us virtually. I wish we were there in person, but COVID won't let us be great. Mr. Mayor, it's a pleasure to be with you. Mark, it's a pleasure to be with you as well. And to everyone joining us, this is just an amazing evening where we get to share and celebrate and spend some time celebrating our history.
Awesome, awesome. Well, before we get into the book and have you read this wonderful, not only written book, but the illustrations are just awesome. It really walks us through, the historical touch points of our nation's history as it relates to civil rights and some of the most influential African Americans. And I can't wait to hear you read it. But I guess I'll just start off by asking you, what made you write the book? What was the motivation behind it, to say that, wow, I want to write a children's book?
I will tell you that writing children's books is by far the hardest literary industry to get into. There aren't many Black authors in the space, and there are even fewer Black illustrators. And I'm just learning this, getting involved. I joke and say this truth in some jest that I had to write a New York Times best-selling adult book in order just to get an opportunity to write a children's book. But I was respectfully I didn't want my kids just to see purple and pink and blue people. I wanted them to be able to see themselves and the representation that matters. I think this is an amazing time for projects such as this because kind of leading the way, and I don't mind, riding the caboose, but Encanto is one of the best movies of the past decade or generation. And that is a movie that focuses on that representation. And so this was an awesome opportunity. I'm a father of 3-year-old twins. The reason that you are able to hear me is because they just left the house. But this book is about them and for them.
Awesome, awesome. And being a father of adult twin girls, I know exactly what you are going through right
Does it
now.
get any
So
easier,
I,
Mr. Mayor?
I would say I feel sorry for you, but look, my wife and I had to pay those dues, so I'm sure you and your wife are more than capable of holding it down.
Man, it is a tough go with these twins. One boy, one girl, Sadie and Stokely. They are my heart,
Yeah.
and let me just say, we got to play man-to-man defense against them. Zone does not work.
I know, but it gets funner. I won't say it gets easier, but at every stage of their lives, it gets even better.
Thank you.
So obviously, you've written a couple of books for some of our viewers who may be wondering, I would love to write a book myself. Can you just briefly just talk about like the process to write a book?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been in two different spaces. The process for a children's book was different than an adult book. Both of them, I will tell you, the first thing that you have to be committed to doing is being truthful. You always have to be willing to give your all on the pages, to share your truth on the pages, whether or not it's a children's book, a young adult book, or an adult book. In my children's book, and Who Are Your People, the difference was the rhythm whereby I wrote the book. I'm a huge Outkast fan. And I wrote this
All
book
right, Miss
to,
Jackson.
yeah. Exactly. I wrote this book to the rhythm of Equimini, and that's what I play a lot. Reggie Brown, who's the illustrator, listens to a lot of Motown. And so you can see the rhythmic strokes of his hand and the soulfulness in the pictures. And so when you read it, you have a little 1-2 maybe, but you feel that rhythm. In my adult book, I was just focusing on, and I don't know if the word is cathartic or therapeutic. I guess they're synonyms. I don't know. Somebody smarter than me, my English teacher, would be able to tell me. But I poured my heart out onto the pages and had somebody help me mold what those words would look like and tried to tell my story. And both of them have been successful. Thank you for the support. Both are New York Times bestsellers now. And, it's at 37 to be a member of that club times two has just been kind of dope. So, tell your truth. I got turned down from My Vanishing Country. You'll appreciate this, Mr. Mayor. 32 times. 32
Wow.
times for this book.
Wow.
It was a lot easier to do Who Are Your People? And hopefully, Who Are Your People is the beginning of a series.
Yeah, well, that's a great lesson in of itself, to be persistent and never give up on your dream. And our last two questions, the first one is quick. How long did it take you to write who are your people? And I'm just curious to know, how did your daughters react to it when they finally saw the final product?
So,
I think it's your daughter and your son. I'm sorry.
yeah. So, to write the book from a kind of a thought process of what I wanted to book to look like to the images in my head to the completion took about 8 months. And that was pretty quick. Reggie had to draw extremely quick. We met a deadline. And that was surprisingly quick for the process. I didn't know that. Apparently, children's books take a lot longer than that. Sorry to HarperCollins for making me rush them through this. The actual writing took about a month. And people are like, it took you a month to write 32 pages and not but 2 or 3. Yes, because you write, it gets edited, you write again, you make sure that it is what you want it to say. I mean, then you have to understand the audience you're writing for. It's 4 to 8 year olds. You can't go in and just write these, comprehensive soliloquies. And so, it was fun. It was fun. Now, Sadie and Stokely are three. They love to see the images of them. Sadie will tell you who is who, mommy, daddy, Stokey, as she calls him, and then Sissy, as she refers to herself. It ain't their favorite book. Their favorite book is their ABC book and their number book, but maybe one day it will be their favorite book. If we're gonna keep it 100 with each other, Mr. Mayor, I will tell you that we're working to make it their favorite book, but it ain't their favorite book yet. You're muted.
I'm sure at some point that they'll grow and they'll learn to appreciate the effort that you did, especially on, they may be a little bit upset that you included them in the book.
Hopefully, they look forward and they'll love it as we go through it.
Yeah, well, without further ado, we'll sit back, relax, and let you read the book. And then if we have some time, maybe we can take a couple of questions from our viewers.
Yeah, I will tell you, it's not the longest book to read, so we probably will have some questions, but I hope you enjoy it as we take you on this journey. Who are your people? Can everybody see the screen, Mr. Mayor? Okay. All
Yes,
right.
we can.
All right. There we go. One of my favorite pages, and I'll somewhat narrate as I go through. But Who Are Your People is written by yours truly and illustrated by my new best friend in the world, Reggie Brown, a dope artist. This is one of my favorite pages in the book. This is the dedication page. Sadie and Stokely, Daddy loves you. Kai, your bonus dad is so proud of you. Kai is my 16-year-old stepdaughter. To Brittany, she made this world a better place and will always be missed. That's from Reggie. The backdrop here is Remembrance Park. This is myself, Stokely, Sadie. When you meet someone for the first time, they might ask, who are your people and where are you from? Who are your people? And if you look in the clouds, you see the images of some of our great heroes and heroines that we all know. Some are even of the present. You should always be proud of who you are. Your people were strong and smart. They dreamed of things not yet seen and imagined that we could all be free. And you can see those images of maybe the Underground Railroad or that journey to freedom. This is what I believe to be one of the most powerful images in the book. It's also the image, one of the images that people want to ban, but that's another subject, Mr. Mayor. Your people were fighters. When they were told they had to leave because of the color of their skin, they sat down. Your people were mighty activists, champions that struggled for justice and equality. They marched so that people would know your life matters. And they stood up and ran to make history and change lives. Familiar face. Your people were trailblazers who changed laws and broke records. Today, we stand on their shoulders. When they ask you where are you from, you are from a land where the soil is dark and matches the richness of your skin, where cotton and sugarcane were strongly rooted and match your strength and determination. It's one of the more powerful images in the book. You are from the country where time moves with ease and kindness is cherished. We say a simple hello to our neighbors to let them know we see them. You're from a place where the aroma of cakes and pies waft from the window sills to fill your bellies with goodness and your hearts with love. You are a product of the proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. You are from a place filled with love and hope and expectation where people rooted for you to succeed. Today, we stand on their shoulders. On their shoulders, you were so strong and so loved. On their shoulders, you can reach for the sky. And this is one of my favorite images in the entire book. And this is our challenge to everyone, whether or not you're 4 or 44. So, what will you dream and how will you change the world? And in this image, um, Sadie is president of the United States, and Stokely is an astronaut on Mars. And so, I want all of my young ladies to realize that they too can and should be president of the United States one day. That's Who Are Your People, written by yours truly and illustrated by Reggie Brown. And no, I want people to know that I am decently humble. I did not intentionally put myself on the cover of both of my books. Those were decisions that were not made by me. Somebody pointed that out to me, and it's decently embarrassing, but I didn't do that on purpose.
Nah. Well, yeah, we say bravo, bravo, bravo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, as you know, as you were reading the book, you know, and looking at those images, I mean, it's those discussions that take place in so many homes, and for you to capture, you know, with so many, you know, African Americans throughout the country, you know, is finding a way to perhaps try to instill just some of the history that's not necessarily taught in our school systems, you know, to connect our young folks, not to forget the legacy. So, thank you so much for bringing this forward.
Thank you so much. That was the hope that young people will want to learn more about themselves and maybe some others who are Sadie and Stokely's classmates will want to read and learn more about them. So hopefully we all have this insatiable desire to learn as much as possible. And Who Are Your People and Mark's book and everyone, they just whet your appetite to learn and do more.
Hey, I did, before you go, I did want to perhaps give Mark an opportunity to ask a question. Here you have a young brother who came up with our mentor program and assisted me in our My Brother's Keep program here in the city. And he's now a local police officer and decided to write a book about Africa, right? And who would have thought, you know, one of our young police officers thinking about, you know, children's book and writing about Africa. So as a young artist himself that's done and a book that's illustrated as well. Maybe Mark, if you have a question for Mr. Sellers that you may want to ask.
All right, Amon, thank you so much for having me. That was amazing, by the way. I actually going to be ordering my copy directly after this. So again, that was amazing. My biggest question is maybe two questions. Where do you pull most of your inspiration from in dark moments? And what moment brought this out?
Um, I have anxiety, which most people know. If you don't know, well, there you have it. That I utilize to in my vanishing country, I have a title written, "Anxiety: A Black Man's Superpower." And basically, the reason I tell you that and start there is because I try to make the moment, the most of each moment and the most of the day. I'm not someone who you can ask, where will you be in 5 years? I try to live in 24-hour periods. My goal is to win today and then win Saturday and then win Sunday. And I figure, look, if I can win, 4 out of every 7, that's not bad, right? That's a winning percentage. You win at life doing that. And so that's the way that I take it on. And when you have moments where some of those days don't look like you may come out victorious in those days, I get the hope from, it's a combination of my father's lessons in the movement and my children. There's a faith that I have uh, in my surroundings, in this community, in this country, understanding that nothing about it is irredeemable. We just have to reimagine what she looks like. And that reimagining puts that power in my hands, and allows me to kind of control my own destiny and look at my kids and look at them in the face and know that we have that much more left to do. And believe in what Abraham Lincoln called the better angels of our nature. That may be youthful naivete, but I'm gonna hold on tight to it because that gets me through those days. The last question was what brought me to this moment, I think, right? Um, one of the things about writing books, and I think the mayor will probably agree, is very similar to politics because you want to be able to meet the moment. The last thing you want to do is be a politician for yesterday. The politics of Bill Clinton in 1992, I love them, won't work in 2022, right? So you have to be willing to meet the moment. Now, that doesn't mean we discard it. There are lessons to be learned, but the moment has changed. And we're having conversations, robust conversations about who we are. We're having robust conversations about race in this country. And I don't dare say that who are your people is the end all be all, is going to be the panacea. But what I do say is it's a tool in your toolkit. It's a resource to help you have conversations. And at the end of the day, I believe we have an empathy deficit in this country. And I hope that Who Are Your People allows some to learn about others, and to dream with their eyes open. And so, again, you know, some people may say it's a very youthful answer, but I hold it to be true.
That was beautiful. Thank
One,
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
one of our 9-year olds asked, "What were some of the books that you like to read, or you read when you were 9 years old?"
When I was 9 years old, uh, the book that stands out to me the most, and I can't remember how old I was when I read it, 1984. And what grade are you at 9?
9 years old. I think you're third. Is that third or fourth grade? I think, if I'm not
Fourth.
mistaken, third,
Yeah,
third or
it's
fourth grade. Yeah,
about fourth
third.
grade.
Yeah, third grade. He's
Yeah,
in the
so
third grade. Yeah. Yes, he says he's in the
1980.
third grade.
Yeah, okay. 1984 may be a bit too advanced. I got it. That's a tough question. Whoever just asked me that, I'm on national TV and I never get stumped, but I am stumped about what I read in third grade. Uh, but what I would tell you is that, sometimes, and your teachers may not tell you this per se, but sometimes you may not want to read a huge book like this, right? Sometimes you just may want to read the comics, or you may want to read the sports section of your newspaper, or may want to read a magazine. All of that's okay, but never put it down. Always, always, because if you're going to change the world, even at 9 years old, and begin and trust and believe that once you hit double digits, you can change the world. You don't have to be 40. As soon as you get 10, like, dude, you can change the world. Just make sure that you're reading as much as possible. I'm gonna send a text to the mayor, and the mayor's gonna tell you before the night is over what I was reading in third grade because I simply cannot recall what that would be.
And in fact, I do have a special guest that's viewing, my little nephew, and his name is Noah. And he's a very young reader, very excited. And he asks, is your book fiction or nonfiction?
Oh, that's a very, very good question. Non well, my book is rooted in nonfiction, but some of it is fiction. The stories that we tell, the people that we tell are very real. The images of Muhammad Ali and Martin Luther King and Stacey Abrams, the images of Mary McLeod Bethune, the images of individuals in cotton fields showing their strength, or the sit-in movement, which I said was my favorite picture, but it's an image from February 1st, 1960, are very real images. Then there's some images like Sadie being president of the United States and Stokely being an astronaut. They were real in my heart and real in my mind. They may be real one day. So it's a combination of both, but good question.
Awesome. So we would like to give a big Miramar thank you and hand clap for our special guest and author, Mr. Bakari Sellers. You can catch him on CNN on any given moment on late and breaking political events in our country. And we appreciate your fresh perspective and keeping it real for us and plain and simple to give a perspective that perhaps would be void if we didn't have individuals like yourself representing a vantage point and a viewpoint that definitely needs to be heard in our country. So thank you so much for sharing your book with us, taking the time to address our community.
I just want the invite to come down soon. Everybody be blessed and have a blessed day.
All right, take care, take care. Thanks so much, Mr. Sellers. Enjoy your evening. Thanks, everyone. And before we go on to our dear good brother, Mark Allen, with his amazing book as well, I do have three books, three copies of Who Are Your People? And for the individuals, if you are on social media or your parents are on social media and you send me a tag on Instagram or just say on Instagram, if you have Instagram, link me up on at Wayne Messam, at Wayne Messam. My name is on the label, one word, at Wayne Messam, and said that I was viewing the virtual reading, and we will send you the first three to send me a message. You'll get the book. So make sure you send your name, or you can go to Facebook. Some folks are messaging, they're not on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, my official page is Mayor Wayne M. Messam. Mayor Wayne M. Messam. You should be able to find it. Send me a direct message on there as well. And the first three viewers will get a book. And we will do the same for Mark's book. A is for Africa. A is for Africa. The first three to respond, send me a message on Instagram at Wayne Messam on Instagram, or Facebook, Mayor Wayne M. Messam, will get you a free copy of the book. All right? Great, great, great. So moving right along on our virtual family reading, our second book we'll be reading is tonight's A is for Africa by our very own author, Mark Christopher Allen. Mark is a young man born and raised right here in South Florida. And right here in South Florida. And I've been blessed. He's been blessed by God to experience many different cultures and enjoy society with great people. He's always liked to say, my parents raised me right. And it's true. He's the second of four children, and roots. He's the second of four children, and with roots, I'm having a struggle reading this tonight. I apologize, everyone. His results he has roots in the results of the African diaspora. He's always wanted to go back to the continent and learn more about his roots, his true roots based in Africa. He's planned on using his platform to spread the love and the light and to always promote unity instead of division. He works in law enforcement professionally, and I am thankful that he's joining us tonight. And he states that he's thankful for the opportunity to give back and serve his wonderful community. And as I said before and was sharing with Bakari, that Mark and his family has been active with our mentor program. He's always been such a blessing to the city of Miramar, coming up through our police department, and now has gone on and serving the city of Sunrise as a law enforcement professional. And to have him here to read his book is such a pleasure. And at this time, before Mark gets a chance to read his book, I have a couple of questions for Mark. And you can start out by just sharing with us what inspired you to write the book.
Good evening, and thank you for that introduction. What inspired me to write this book was honestly and it's part of what I asked Bakari. It was a dark moment for me. This is in 2020 where there was quite a few things going on in the country. There was a pandemic fully blown, lockdowns fully blown, and one specific incident which happened with law had me pretty disheartened. So I was actually inspired by a cousin of mine who always goes back and forth from to and from different countries in Africa. And he would always come back and tell the family how beautiful it is, how nice his land is, how peaceful the beaches are. And in this moment, I was full throttle wanting to learn more about Africa. So what I did was learn and think about who else needs to learn, which is the youth. So that's what it is.
So walk us through the process on what it took to write the book and have it illustrated.
All right. Well, first I had to get direction from my sister-in-law, who actually has a children's book as well. So first I had the idea and I wrote it down and made it plain simply. I had to write it down on paper and I wrote it down in the notes on my phone. And I had the manuscript ready in about a week because I knew I wanted to do a book with the alphabets, teaching children about the alphabets, but also teaching them about Africa. So once I wrote the manuscript, I sat on it and I was like, oh goodness, what's next? So it's a children's book and kids love pictures. I had to find an illustrator. And I actually reached out to quite a few great illustrators, and a few told me that this project doesn't seem like it's something for them. And I said, okay. But there's one gentleman, and I believe he's based in Bangladesh, and he was very nice, very kind and warm. And he's the one who did the illustrations. So I provided him a creative direction about 3 letters at a time because I was going through the whole English alphabet. I gave him 3 letters at a time, and he gave me back the illustrations. And like Bakari was saying, him and I became close because my thoughts literally had to come to a physical form. So we had to be very specific with how I interpreted certain things and how he did as well.
So how have your family and friends reacted to the book?
Oh, my family and friends have probably been the biggest supporters. Um, they've gave a great reaction. They purchase it. They leave nice reviews, and I'm thankful that they're proud of what I'm doing.
And finally, as a police officer, is there another book in the future about, being an officer or something with public safety?
I I actually do. The next book is already written. I may go with the same illustrator, but I may find another. But I have a list of different things I want to write about, and law enforcement is definitely on that list.
Awesome, awesome. Well, that's enough for the questions. Thanks so much for giving us an insight of who Mark is and what motivated you to write the book. And now, if you will be so gracious to share your book with our community.
All right. And good evening, City of Miramar and everyone else who is on this channel. A is for Africa. So the book is A is for Africa. My name is Mark Christopher Allen, but my pen name is Mark Christopher if you're looking for it. And this is it. A is for Africa. I just want to give you guys a warning. I did a reading earlier. I do readings at different elementary schools, and when I get in, it's like action. So I'm going to get right into character. Book is, this piece of artwork is dedicated to the Most High, and God is love. I wanted to dedicate it to quite a few different people, but God blessed me with all of those people. So I just might as well dedicate it to the source. First page. A is for Africa, beginning to end, a continent of beauty and stories of old, people of joy, hills of diamond and gold. B is for Botswana, a city of diamonds. Keep on digging, you might just find one or two. So these are children, and it's kind of like they're hanging out in Africa and Botswana and just finding different treasures, because there is treasure all around us. C is for Chad, Cameroon, and Congo. These three countries are strong in their own way, culture, food, and resources for the world, separated by land, connected by love. D is for Daishiki, patterns so colorful and bright, West African cultures all day and all night, Yoruba worldwide, fashion, peace, and pride. All right. E is for Egypt, Eritrea, Ethiopia, the land of Kemet, the original people, the land of many tongues, and the land of independence. Out of many, we are one. F is for family, F is for flavor, brothers and sisters alike. We share our land and we share our food. The taste of Africa is full of love, happy people, and happy taste buds. Can you name a country? Can you name a dish from an African country? I was asking the children this today, and they were like, pizza. And that might not be from Africa, but I'll take it. G is for Ghana, warrior kings of gold. Come together as Ashanti, an empire of others. Powerful sisters, powerful brothers. H is for hello. How do you say hello? In Kenya, in Swahili, they may say habari. In Ghana, they might say makai. In Senegal, they may say nangadef. And in Nigeria, they might say koyo. So we have Ghana, and then a little young man writing the different ways of how to say hello. I is for Nhambane. That's a city. The land of good people, good adventures, good beaches, amazing history, fresh seafood, lovely music. Mozambique is Mozambique is fresh and full of promise. J is for jumping into Kenya's Diani Beach. Africa's favorite beach has beautiful water, soft powder sand, and nature as far as your eye can see. Other beaches are nice, but Diani Beach is for me. K is for Kenya, a kingdom of lions, kingdom of pride, kingdom of culture, freedom in the air. Kenya gives the world beauty,
She is divine and fair. L is for Liberia, land of the free. The tropical rainforest is home to 700 different species of free-flying birds. M is for Mozambique, one of the first people's first homes. Sand men and women are seen throughout the world. N is for Nigeria. No mystery of this. Global fashion capital. It's designers pick. Modeling, acting, music for days. Home of Africa's richest. Hard work pays. You would actually see, or you might notice, there's a lot of beautiful things coming out of Nigeria, especially music, riches, and fashion. O is for Onyo. In Swahili, that's warning. Look both ways before you cross the road. Lions are near. Have no fear. Onyo. P is for power, peace, and pride. Our nation has no borders. Never let others divide. Q is for question. I have a question for you. Actually, two. There are 54 different countries on the continent of Africa. Where would you like to visit and why? R is for Rwanda. Lush green forests and plants on every corner. The ecosystem is full of life, especially known for some of the best coffee and the best tea in the world. For Rwanda, I have a few different illustrations, but one in the background is flying cars. What a lot of people might not know is they have one of the fastest growing fiber optic systems in the world. So they're really making it happen with technology in Rwanda. S is for Senegal. Your vision is key to the success of your dreams. Move forward and onward. You can do anything. T is for Tanzania, the highest of mountains, scraping the sky, 5,000 feet. Most birds can't get that high. The illustration for Senegal is probably my favorite. That is the African Renaissance Monument. And I think that takes the cake for my number one travel destination. I'd love to see that in person. U is for Uganda. Have you ever seen snow? What about a waterfall? A trip to Uganda, you can experience it all. In the classroom, I tell everyone to close your eyes. So everyone close your eyes. V is for vision, vibes, and victory. See the music, feel the sounds, close your eyes, and smell Africa. It's all around. Hear the love, keep it close. Come experience Africa. When you're here, it's your home. So you have is that Uganda with the beautiful nature, and then this young man on the side really experiencing Africa, maybe dreaming about it. W is for warriors of new and old. Remember your resources. You're standing in gold. X is for Zoramouth, South Africa. Beauty in water, beauty in sea. Come to South Africa, see beauty in me. Y is for Yoruba, the village of royalty. one of the largest nations with more than 10,000 years worth of history. Farmers and leaders in their own way. Z is for Zambia. Open your eyes and see Mosi Otunya. That means the smoke that thunders. One of the largest waterfalls in the world. The border between Zambia and Zimbabwe is a connection to life. Now, Mosi Otunya is popularly called Victoria Falls, and it was named that by the people who colonized this part of Africa at a certain point in time. But I'd like to go by the original name. So we'll say Mosi Otunya. You can Google that. That's probably one of the most beautiful waterfalls in the world. I haven't seen it yet, but that's fighting for #1 on my list with Senegal. Final page. Mayor, if you'd like, you can take yourself off mute. We're gonna go back and forth really quick. I'll say one, and you'll repeat it right after me. All right.
All right.
Attitude of love.
Attitude of love.
Fierce in fight.
Fierce in fight.
Royal in blood.
Royal in blood.
Illuminated with light.
Illuminated with light.
Culture for the world.
Culture for the world.
Africa is life.
Africa is life.
A is for Africa. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Let's give Mark a big round of applause. We do have a question from one of our residents, the Millions family. And they write, Mark, our daughter is in kindergarten, and she wanted to ask how you came up with an idea for each letter. Did you travel to Africa?
That's an amazing question. I searched really hard. I knew I wanted to do every single letter. So I made sure that I could find a city or a country or even some type of cultural phrase, something I can get out of each English alphabet. The hardest one was X. I had to search for that one. That's a city in South Africa, Zormouth. And I did travel to Africa after I wrote the book. I traveled to Kenya in September. I went to Nairobi and Mombasa. We had an amazing time.
One of our viewers was wishing that your letter N was Namibia.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
That's actually a very, very beautiful place. I was looking it up.
Well, maybe that can be in the second edition.
Maybe, correct.
Well, I think it's fabulous that you're on with us tonight because it's a great example to show how someone right from our community can become an author, and not only become an author, but write a book for children. So I think the nice combination of having a national figure like Bakari Sellers and his book, being presented, but to bring it home to show our youth that they too, if they have the desire, can also write their own book. And that it's not only these national figures or individuals that you just may see on TV or on social media, but people right here in our community are doing those things and that they can do it too.
Correct. It has to start from somewhere. I'm 27 and this is the beginning.
Awesome. So before we leave, I just wanted to remind our audience that, again, we'll be giving away 3 copies of A is for Africa, written by no other than Mark Allen. So if you go on social media and if you send me a message on Facebook, Mayor Wayne M. Messam, send me a message there, or on Instagram at Wayne Messam, my full name, and send me a message, and the first 3 viewers to do it on each platform will get a copy of either A is for Africa or Who Are Your People, written by Bakari Sellers. So thanks so much. And I would like to thank all of our residents and viewers for coming on this evening. We wish we could have had this in person, but I think to continue to share our rich history of Blackness in the great city of Miramar. We have so much talent in our city, and we have so many great events taking place during Black History Month. And we'd like for you to visit our city's website at MiramarFL.gov/Black History Month, and you'll see all of our Black History events that will be taking place. So thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of Black History Month, and we'll see you soon. Good night.
Have a good night. Thank you.